Since I am a rich man and I don't know what to do with my money, I decided to invest it in buying Manchester United. I tried to negotiate with the Glazers politely, but they were not willing to sell the club in its entirety. So I resorted to Plan B, and it was successful. The first thing I did after owning the club was to appoint a new manager for the team, which is Thiago Motta. Immediately after, in a secret meeting with the coach, we decided which players would stay and which would leave. However, the first surprise was Manchester City's tempting offer to sign Luke Shaw for $40 million. We agreed to the offer without hesitation. Then came the turn of Van Bissaka, and then Rashford. And these three deals alone brought us an additional $132 million. This prompted us to enter the transfer market aggressively and make significant signings, including Aston Villa striker Watkins, Juventus winger Chiesa, Brighton left back Estupinan, and right back Matty Cash in a swap deal. We didn't intend to make all these signings until our poor performance in the friendly tournament exposed the team's flaws, following only one win in 3 matches. Throughout this period, we were eagerly awaiting our first league match against Wolverhampton Wanderers to assess the team's readiness to compete. And indeed, the team managed to snatch 3 points after a clean 2-0 victory. At the same time, Eriksen finalized his move to Chelsea in a deal worth $20 million. Next, we headed to London to face Tottenham in a peculiar match. After scoring the opening goal in the first quarter hour and dominating the field in both length and width, the opponents managed to equalize 10 minutes before the end of the match. Even worse was Greenwood's strange attempt in the final minutes that cost us 3 points, resulting in a draw. However, we were able to make up for it in the following match by beating Nottingham 3-0 to move up to 4th in the league table. So far, so good, but with the departure of McTominay, we needed to find a strong replacement. So we signed Portuguese player Palhinha to be the final signing of the team in the current transfer window. Moving on to the serious stuff, all players had to prove their worth of wearing this club's jersey. It started with a tough match against Arsenal that ended in a draw. It was a strong boost for the team to achieve a series of victories that extended to 5 consecutive matches until the French team, Lille, managed to stop the team and score the first official loss this season. It was a match that taught us not to underestimate the opponent and to fight until the final whistle. And we did just that in the next league match.
Oh, can you believe it? With so little time left, surely that will be the winner. Amazing scenes here.
Thus, the team proved that it is capable of competing for all titles throughout the first half of the season. After we were close to being eliminated from the Europa League, we turned the group results upside down in the last match and qualified at the top to the next round. We also qualified for the Carabao Cup semi-final and secured 3rd place in the league. Despite the team's good performance, we were eliminated by Crystal Palace in the first FA Cup match. Therefore, we had to support the team with new signings, as Onana's level is inconsistent, and Varane makes many mistakes. Mount does not deserve to be a starter, and his replacement, Ederson, has not yet adapted to the Premier League. Unfortunately, we cannot strengthen the team in all these positions, so we decided to support the team with some loans. However, the most important signing was Barella from Inter to replace Mount, who moved to Juventus.
Before that, the team had booked a place in the Carabao Cup final after defeating Tottenham on penalties, which earned goalkeeper Bayindir a starting spot in the team instead of Onana. We have solved the midfield and goalkeeping issues. The only remaining issue is Varane's performance, which will be resolved in time, inshallah. Most of the winter transfer window results were poor, but they started to improve match by match. After about 4 months, we had secured a top 3 spot with 3 rounds left in the league. Unfortunately, we lost the Carabao Cup final to Manchester City, but we aimed to make up for that in the Europa League after defeating Marseille in the round of 16, Real Betis in the quarterfinals, and West Ham in the semifinals to reach the final where we will face PSG.
After all this effort, we cannot end the season without a title, so we will try to put all our focus and strength into clinching the league first. Starting with the Crystal Palace match. We managed to beat them 2-1 and then Arsenal 3-2 to find ourselves in first place after Manchester City's loss to Fulham. All that was left was to win against Brighton to be league champions. After 5 minutes from the start of the match, Brighton managed to score the first goal, putting the team under a lot of pressure. But Watkins managed to change the score in our favor. However, a positioning error by the players allowed the opponent's striker to score the equalizer in the last moments of the match, which deprived us of the title in favor of Liverpool. We had to forget about that to focus on the Europa League final. And indeed, the players entered the field determined to win and nothing else. After 46 minutes, PSG scored the first goal, and then Watkins responded to Mbappe to equalize the score. And in the last minutes, with a counterattack, Garnacho created a goal for Chiesa that made us win the match and achieve the first title with merit.
The Europa League winners. They put so much.
A new season, new challenges. We will try to compete for all titles, and why not win them all? Therefore, we have decided to sell some players, the most important of whom are Onana, Greenwood, and Jadon Sancho, who returned from the loan. And we have signed new players such as Kobel from Dortmund, Lukaba, and Eze. We hoped that all these signings would help us win our first title of the season against Manchester City. But the Norwegian monster Haaland had other ideas. After scoring the first goal of the match and Watkins equalizing, he came back again to score the second goal, giving the European Super Cup title to his team, Manchester City. It was a tough loss for me, and I hope it's just a stumbling block and a boost for what's to come in the future, inshallah.